the aisle, going down the path. So here goes. I guess it all started years ago. My wife and I have been married for 13 years and dated 2 years before. I am 39 and so is she. We have 2 children ages 11 and 7. In the last few years, I have felt a real distance between each other. I knew that we were having problems, but at the time I just couldn't put my finger on it. It seemed to me that she would schedule things that I wasn't able to work. Admittedly, I do work about 70 to 75 hours a week in a high-paid but also very high-stress job. So, I suppose as time went by things got worse and worse. Me being the dumb husband and wrapped up in my own share of work problems never really seen the warning signs. Within the last year, she has almost emotionally cut herself off from me. Bonding to her for the last year was more of a to-do list kind of thing than something she really liked to do. We went from 4 times a week to once a week to once a month. Truth be told, the biggest thing that I see was she didn't want me to show her any affection. None. I would give her a hug and there was just nothing there. Kisses were like kissing your sister toward the last year. As you can imagine, there is a lot of resentment from both sides at this point. So, within the last few months after speaking to a friend about the situation, he said, "Are you sure she doesn't have anyone else?" Wow, that caught me off guard. However, based on her current emotional state, I thought it a possibility. So never having looked at my or her phone records, I did. Lo and behold, the same number keeps coming up. 30 minutes on her way to work, 20 minutes on her lunch break, and another 40 minutes on her way home. I went back over a year and the amount of time to the same number was consistent. So, I called it. Man picks up the phone. "Hello, this is X." I just hung up and just felt stunned. The man on the other end was a janitor where she used to work. She has spoken of him, but I never suspected anything of adultery. She has had his grandkids spend the night at our house multiple times. Keep in mind he is 60. He does look about 50 though. After holding on to that information for about 3 weeks, me and my wife had a very long and emotional talk. The calls came out. I told her that I believed she was having an affair and I wanted the truth. Of course, she just said he was just a friend. I told her that I also have friends, none of which I speak to over an hour every day and with another 30 text messages. She said again I needed someone to talk to and he talked to me. So, my reply was, I don't know of anyone willing to devote that much time to a girl he isn't sleeping with. She just sat for a minute. He's just a friend. So, I just told her things have gone too far and I want to fix this. She just said she doesn't know how to fix it and she just doesn't feel that way anymore. So, I left for a few minutes and decided to call that number. He picked right up and we talked for 20 minutes. I hit him pretty hard and he just confirmed what she has said. So, in the end, called him didn't really make me feel better or worse. So, I went home and told my wife that I think some time was in order and that I was going to move out. She agreed that it was a good idea, and moved out I did. In the last 2 weeks we have gone to a MC for 2 sessions. It was fine to go and talk, but nothing really happened that made her feel any different about things. In the last session, I just asked her, "Do you want to fix this?" and she said no, that she didn't. So, I suppose if I want to fix it but she doesn't, then there is really nothing left to fix. I think she's done. This realization has destroyed me the last few weeks. Of course, I have tried make amends, but it's all in vain. Yesterday I asked once more and she said the same thing, she wants a divorce. I'm lost, but there is some comfort in knowing that I don't really have a choice here. Anger hasn't kicked in yet. I know it will at some point. She does work but part-time. All of our conversations in the last week have been about money. So that's her worry now, not me at all. I've moved out over 2 weeks ago. The OM is married and has been for 30 years. I don't know if it was an E or physical affair. I have cancelled my next appointment for marriage counseling. I have thought of contacting the OM wife. I'm just not sure what it would solve. I was planning to give her just about everything, for the kids. I couldn't deal with them having to move and new schools and all. It is financially stupid. But it's the right thing for the kids, I think. What would it solve? Speaking the OM wife. I didn't move out to leave. I moved out to give her time to think and to stop the constant fighting. Why is moving back now so important? At this point I see the kids 4 days a week. Though not living there has been hard on me and the kids. I see why most here want to fight. I just don't know what I'm fighting for anymore. Maybe making the decision to divorce is better than not knowing. For 3 weeks I didn't know where I stood and it's total and complete hell. I'm going to call the OMW and see what she has to say about it all. I called the OMW. She does know who my wife is. They were all on a camping trip last October which she prevented me from attending. She told me that she felt the way they interacted together was odd, and she then told me she told her husband to end all contact, which he agreed to do. It was big news to her that contact didn't end at all. I told her to do her own investigations and gave her my number if she wants to talk again. Boy, I think I was cheated on. I called home this morning to say good morning to the kids. My wife picked up the call and was trying to make small talk. As an FYI, today is my 13th wedding anniversary. I could tell that she knew that I called the OMW yesterday. She was asking things like, is there anyone that I spoke with yesterday? I refused to bring it up until she came out and asked if I called the OMW. So, I finally said, if there is something you want to talk about, then just do it. She didn't. So, I can only assume that the OMW must have went home and raised holy hell with her husband. This must have gotten back to my wife. She didn't seem that upset, but maybe she really was and was hiding it. At the very least, I know that the OM did speak to my wife yesterday. I don't know if what I did was good or not, but I'm does not go to sit here and take it anymore. Comments. She doesn't care what you know. She's got you where she wants you, out of the house supporting her lifestyle. You're only guessing, as far as she is concerned. She's confidant. So far everything she has done has worked in her favor. Be ready for her wrath. When you start to take back control, she's going to go off the deep end. Stand your ground. Stay calm but resolved. From the camping trip story, they were more worried about you than the OMW at that time. The OMW may be in a weak position to do anything about it. Did you give her copies of the text and phone records? OP responds, I didn't give them to her. I offered to meet and give them, or I offered to send them. I realized that she was at work and the call totally caught her off guard. I did give the OMW my cell phone, so if she wanted more information she could call. I think she won't if this has already got back to my wife. I know that when my wife realizes she is losing control, it's going to get ugly. What do you think I should do from here? I'm very torn about moving back home right now. On one side, I feel that I need to be there for the kids. I don't know what happens there when I'm not there. I do talk to the kids at the very least 3 times a day. They still seem good. On the other side, I do feel that moving back in could create some real serious problems. I know that as things progress, she's going to get enraged. I picture her getting really pissed off and, in the state she's in, I really don't know what she is capable of. Imagine we have an argument and she calls the cops. The cops won't care what happened. They will cuff me and throw me behind bars no matter what. What really happened doesn't matter. I will go behind bars and have to see a judge. This is my worry. Could she do all that? I do know. I just see the kids there crying as I'm hauled off to the station. Tonight, I guess I will go back home. I'm not even going to call her. I will just show up. I just spoke with my wife and told her I'm coming back. She absolutely went crazy. She said if I come back, she will call the cops. Oh boy, this is getting out of hand. I'm going back tonight and I will see what happens. I left work early so I could get home. She is with the kids going to see fireworks. So, I walked in and they're out. Good, I really don't want to fight in front of the kids. When I told her I'm coming back home, she went nuts. On speakerphone with the kids in the car. It's kind of crazy, like it's a different person. I'm here and she came home. She said that she was picking up a swimsuit for my son. I think she just wanted to know if I was here. She was so pissed that I'm here. She went into her act and I tried to ignore her, but she would act up. Let's just say she said some really harsh things. I recorded it all. I told her that I did make some mistakes, but when she went outside the marriage, that was all her. She did the same routine, just a friend and all. Then said I was a total jerk for calling the OM wife. Then she just kept going off on how terrible I was. I did her to file then. I did record it. I'm totally lost here. It's 9 a.m. I spent the night, but she never came home with the kids. I feel drained. She at her friend's house. I can't check the bank as she has changed passwords. I came here to be with the kids, no kids. Man, when a marriage goes south, it goes all the way south. I have moved back in. She is totally going nuts about it. I don't care. She has been running herself and the kids ragged the last few weeks. It's as if she is trying to fill every second of every hour of every day with something to do so she doesn't have to deal with it. I told her that I'm going to put my foot down on that. It's the kids' summer break from school and I understand that, but they're tired. They need to get some sleep as well. I think this is the only thing that got through her head as she agreed. She has said that she is going to make my life a living hell living there, and so far has done just that. She is pushing every button that she can think of to get me angry. So far, I haven't bit on it. When we speak, I keep a normal tone and a normal volume. I could tell right away that my daughter is scared of my wife. It's like she is afraid to talk to me in my wife's presence. I will do all I can to make her feel secure and keep communication going. My son seems to be talking things better, but he's only 7 and maybe doesn't realize as much. I'm going to do my utmost to keep my head up and try to be positive as possible. I'm still crushed and my sleeping habits haven't improved. I now realize that I have to be there. It's not going to be pleasant, living in the basement on a pull-out sofa bed, but I will make do. The most ironic thing is she wants me gone because she says all we do is fight. Last night I was in the basement, and she came down to start the fight. So maybe she needs to take some blame for that as well. I spent the day with the kids, went biking, went in the pool for a while and had a really good time. My wife got home at 6 and totally ignored me. Fine with me. Tomorrow would be a screaming fest. Up to this point my payroll checks have been deposited into our joint accounts. Tomorrow it's going into my personal account. I'm sure she will be checking the account at midnight. My guess is all hell is going to break loose when she realizes she is losing control. She had a long night. I could hear her upstairs at 2 then 3 then 4 in the morning. She was on the computer checking our bank account looking for the direct deposit. She was also doing job searches and looking for homes in the area. She left the house at 5:15. She didn't have to be at work until 8:30, so she called my cell at 7:30 and told me what a piece of crap I am. I let it roll off like water off a duck's back. She is losing control and she is getting really pissed. I'm not really pissed, I'm just starting to make plans for me and my children's future. I've picked a lawyer. I'm just doing some more research on him. I was planning to call and make an appointment on Monday. This has been exhausting to the fullest extent. I might pick up some meds tonight. My sleeping habits have been poor for the last 3 weeks. I do feel empowered for myself. It is a nice feeling after all the up and downs. Man, this just keeps going on and on. So, after my direct deposit didn't show up, she is in a frenzy. She called me and told me that she went to the bank and split a bunch of money up. Half to her, half to me. She said that my share is a certified check made out to me alone. She says that she will hold the checks hostage until I bring her the title to her car, and her and the children's social security cards and things like that. She wants me to sign over the title to her car and then she would sign the title to mine. Both cars are worth about the same thing. I'm thinking I'm going to do it. Her car I could care less about, and the fact I would have some money before she raids the account would be a plus. Is this ill-advised? I don't know. It doesn't appear to be too stupid. What do you all think? This morning she was so hung up on money I told her to do that. Maybe this is a control thing, I don't know. I just think to have half of the money in my control can't be a bad thing. If I'm incorrect, then let me have it. Though you write that the title to the cars was never spoke of. So, I think you make a great point. I checked and she did take the money out. Maybe I will tell her to give me the check and the cars wasn't discussed. Forget everything that she wants. She either gives me the check or doesn't. Everything else was mentioned after the fact. This is about power. I cannot allow her to dictate the terms of anything. Cars and other documents were not discussed. She has half the money in her own personal account because she can hold it ransom for other things. We got into another fight this morning. She refused to give me the check until she got all the other things she wanted. I told her no, she isn't in control. So, I told her give it or not whatever. In the end she threw it at me. So, I went and deposited it. She has had her way for a very long time. Back then it was a way of showing love. I know now that she took it as a sign of weakness. I am starting to think that I did break up the affair. The wife called me yesterday. She was fishing for more information and I gave it to her. This morning my wife didn't say anything about it, so I assume she doesn't know about the call. When I called the other man's wife last week, my wife knew about it right away. I don't think she is angry with the fact I caused problems with her affair. I think she beyond angry, enraged even. She is throwing tantrums and even doing it in front of the kids, which I have to put a stop to. She at this stage hasn't shown me anything that would lead me to believe a resolution is possible. I don't think she is thinking clearly and is being very irrational about everything. Anger is still up front and center. I'm going to stay the course and try to keep calm and level-headed and not bite when she puts her hook out there. Something tells me that she is still getting advice from the OM. She still says all they were was friends and won't admit to any type of wrongdoing. I do feel empowered. I still have a sense of loss, but I know now that it's over and time to get the ball rolling and get the business end done. I'm going to stay the course. So today me and the kids have planned a day out, lunch, and to see the new Spider-Man movie. Yesterday my STBX meet my cousin and her kids at the beach. Then they decided that my daughter would sleep over at my cousin's house. So, when I got home last night after my 12-hour day at work, the house was empty. So, I called a buddy and we went out for some dinner and have a few drinks. I got home about 11 and my wife and son were home, both sleeping. I checked on him and all was well, so I went to bed. This morning I spoke with my son and told him that even though his sister wasn't here that we could still go to the movie, and he seemed excited. Then my wife came downstairs in her typical mood. She told my son that she is going to pick my daughter up and they and my cousin and her kids were going to meet up at my aunt's house. They were going to go swimming and going to have a picnic, and then after that would be going go-karting. Of course, he felt left out by that. My wife told him that it's his choice what he wanted to do, so he then decided to go with her. Now of course I am really upset, but I refuse to show it. I told my son that it's his choice, and if he decided to go with his mother that this okay. I told him don't worry about me and he can go and have a great time. We can still go and see that movie another time. I did everything to make him feel as if he wasn't making a choice and that I loved him. I think I did. After she got out of the shower and my son was upstairs packing up for the day, my wife came downstairs gloating like she felt good about what she did. She said, "Are up angry?" I didn't answer. She asked again, louder this time, "Are you angry?" I looked right at her and spoke. "I'm not angry, I'm done with her." She seemed confused but pretended this didn't bother her. She said, "Good." Then I kissed my son goodbye and they got in her car and left. Yes, I really upset that she would play the children against me. But I knew it was coming. She is running out of cards in her deck. I have to stay the course. So last night I got home at 7:30, spent the day at my parents' and fixed some screens at their house. It took my mind off of things and I enjoyed the work. When I got home the kids were there and I talked with them about their weekend and they seemed in a pretty good mood. My wife came downstairs in a foul mood. I could tell she wanted to fight about whatever. She seen that the coffee pot still had coffee grounds in it. So, she started, "If I'm going to live there then I need to clean up." I didn't bite. When I ignore her, she just gets more pissed. So, she then said that if I don't clean it right now then she would throw it out. So, I told her to throw it out. I'd prefer donuts anyway. So, with that she took the basket out the coffee maker and threw it at me. She missed. Now this is all happening in front of the kids. So, I tried to laugh it off for my kids' sake. Then I just watched TV with them till 8:30 and they were going to bed, so I went downstairs to lay down. This morning I got up and got ready for work. She was in her bedroom and the kids were still sleeping. So, I kissed the kids goodbye and then left. No encounters with her this morning, which is a blessing. It takes a toll having to be the bigger person in all these battles. On the way out I stopped into the kitchen. Coffee pot was gone. So, I'm going to stop at Donut Place on the way to work and get some work done and see what her next plan of attack is. I left work early and got home at 7 p.m. Everyone was home. She started in and asked that I lost my job. Nope, didn't get fired. So, we exchanged words and then she decided to take the dog for a walk. I spoke with the kids and they told me it would be better if I moved out. They're tired of all the fighting. I told them both that since I've moved back in, I haven't raised my voice or fought with Mom yet. Your mother is doing all the fighting, and if they want it to stop, then they should talk to their mother. I was heart-wrenched. It was terrible. I wanted to go and bawl my eyes out and then leave. Of course, I tried to reassure them the best I could and told them that I would always be there and they will always have a place to go either with their mother or me. So after about 2 hours she came home. I told her that I wanted to talk. So, we went in the basement. I told her that what she has been doing since I've moved back in is very damaging on the children, and I asked her to stop. She just says that she hates me living there and she feels that she wants to vomit thinking about coming home. I told her that I am going to live there until things are final. Don't do it for me, because I told her what she says and does to me is irrelevant. But the kids are watching this and it hurts them. I don't know if I got through to her, but I hope so. So, then I asked her what she wanted in the divorce. In the end, basically she wants it all. I told her that I'm not walking away from 13 with nothing. Then she wanted to rehash again why she feels the way she does. I told her that to talk about the past is pretty much a waste of time. She isn't happy, and I told her quite frankly that I wasn't either. She said that today she is meeting with a lawyer and she is going to file for divorce and have me served at work. I told her to do that and we can finally get the ball rolling. So, I refused to talk about the past and I only came across as someone who is also unhappy and also wants out. So today I will call and set some appointment to meet with lawyers. Hopefully she will settle down now in front of the kids. I don't think so, but I'm hopeful. I don't know if she's serious or not. I have to assume that she is. She said last night that even if the papers are filed that they can be stopped at any time. It's like she's leaving the door open. Like she's waiting for me to do something. I have to be honest, I don't know what that is. It's like she's waiting for something to happen. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I have no idea what she wants or is thinking. I do know that she's angry and very hostile. I'm sure she's a little scared as now I just tell her that I'm moving on. I would love insight to her thinking, but I'm just guessing. Last night I tried to explain what divorce really means. She's just so twisted up right now, I don't think anything I says makes sense. I spoke with some lawyers today and set some appointments up to meet with them. Most wanted a 25-0 retainer. I was shocked after calling 5, only 2 called me back. I guess business is good. She called and said she meet with her lawyer. She filed for divorce and I will be served at work in 3 days. After speaking with her lawyer, she believes that she will get child support. No problem there. And she will also get crap for the next 10 years. She also wants the house and everything in it. I just said okay and I have a month to respond. On Thursday I'm meeting with 2 lawyers and I will have to retain one. Her childhood was filled with fighting and her father cheated on her mother many times. I'm doing my very best to cope and will stay the course as far as the children are concerned. They need to understand through all the waves I'm an anchor. Today is get served with divorce papers day. I'm meeting with another lawyer this morning. Last night she came home early and I worked till noon. So, we were all here. She made dinner and then my daughter asked me to dinner. So, I went. My STBX said that if I'm eating then she isn't. So, me and kids ate and then I kind of cleaned up. Then my wife came downstairs and ate her dinner. After me and kids went for a bike ride and then came home. My son's friend called and set up a sleepover. So, I called the other mom and set it all up. So, both my kids spent the night at a friend's house. I dropped them off at 7:30. At 7:45 my wife said that she was going out. I didn't respond. She didn't get home till 3 a.m. I didn't go upstairs, I just stayed in the basement and went back to sleep. She then got up and left for work at 7 a.m. I just kept sleeping. Kids will be home by 9 and we will do breakfast and then it's off to work for me once the babysitter gets here. Well, it's 3:30 and no process server yet. I did retain a lawyer this morning. I actually paid his retainer on our joint checking account. I'm sure she will go crazy, but hey, she used the joint account for her lawyer. I think I feel a little better now that I have a lawyer and we spoke how all this could roll out. We have already split up the bulk of the cash. What is left will be for the day-to-day financial aspects of the household. Fact is I don't trust her anymore and I need to remember that. But we still have bills and kids and responsibilities. So that's why there is a little money left. Yesterday went by and no process servers showed up. Maybe on Monday. She just called. The lawyer retainer money hit today and she went through the roof. I think she in her mind had that money allocated to go camping with the kids next weekend. So, she found out and went ballistic. She was yelling so loud that I could barely understand her. I told her that she used the joint account for her lawyer and that her lawyer said it was joint funds. So, I told her that I must be okay if I did the same. So, I'm at work and didn't feel the need to be her punching bag today, so I told her that I had to get back to work and if she wished we could speak more about it later. I try not to let her outbursts affect me, but I really do get stressed out. Looks like this divorce is going to get messy. She is still fighting for control and isn't letting up a bit. Stay the course. I really don't know why she's so mad. I all but given up trying to understand. Maybe I broke up her affair. Maybe she is dealing with the reality of the situation. Maybe she wasn't thinking it would go this far. She has been in control for a long time and now that she isn't, it's like she doesn't know what to do other than lash out. She figured in her mind that we would use the same lawyer. Her lawyer is also an arbitrator as well. We would split as all 50-50 and then sign up and move on. I don't feel comfortable with that as she is asking for big-time pay. I would like to use home equity as a buyout for her waiving the money. It would be better for her to keep the house with the kids. Truth be told, I don't think I would like to live in it anymore. Too much history. I have spoken with her parents weeks ago. They already knew she wanted a divorce and they suggested years ago she talk to a therapist. She has always refused. She got home with the kids at 12:30 a.m. this morning. So, it would appear that she has another male friend. I think I broke up the affair, but she has already moved on to someone else. She was with him last night with our kids and he had his kids with him too. This morning my STBX got up at 6 a.m. then left the house at 7 a.m. She came downstairs to tell me she was leaving. I think all she really wanted to do was to tell me she was going to spend the day with her new friend. I just told her that what she does alone is her business and is no longer my concern, but I do want to know where the kids are at all times. Since the kids are with me today, then I don't really care what she does. I don't think that was the response that she was looking for. She wanted to go into other stuff, but I cut her right off and said the past is the past and I don't want to discuss it any further. I said that she wants a divorce and so do I, so let's just get it done and fast as we can. Then I told her to go as I didn't want to talk anymore. So yesterday my STBX left at 7:30 a.m. The kids slept until 9:30. I so worried about the kids. She is running then into the ground. She is filling my daughter's head with so much crap that I can't even keep up with it all. That is and is going to be an ongoing struggle. I spent all Sunday with them. We went and seen a movie and then had a cookout at my mom's house. My mom could instantly tell that my daughter was different. She told me that she didn't sleep all night as she is worried about the kids. Man, come to think of it, I don't think I've slept yet either. So, my STBX came home at about 1 a.m. The kids had a hard time falling asleep because they were worried about her. So, I think the original affair had ended now, but it didn't take her very long to move on to someone else. I guess she's like a monkey. She didn't take her hand off one branch until she had a firm grasp on the next. I try not to think about what is going on over there as I can only imagine what. I know that I should put it out of my mind. Easier said than done. This morning I woke up, showered and then got ready for work. I went upstairs and kissed the kids goodbye. Then we're both sleeping. Then went downstairs to leave. She came to the door and asked how I was. I just said fine. She then asked if the kids and I had a good day. I just said we had a great day and then walked out the door and left. I think she wanted to tell me what a great day she had yesterday with her new boyfriend, but I didn't want to hear about it. It may be easier to deal with everything when we have very limited contact. I did feel like yesterday she did a 180 on me, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, be there for the kids and reassure them and try to keep myself strong. My comment, would OP stay the course? Is he being weak or actually strong? Subscribe, and I will upload part 2 ending shortly.